Thank you, Madam President. Dear colleagues, sometimes it sounds like a phrase, but when I say this, I really mean it. Full solidarity to all the people who are currently affected by the flooding in Central and Eastern Europe, and of course also by the horrible forest fires in the south of Europe. People in the Czech Republic, Hungary, Poland, Romania, Slovakia and Austria are suffering from devastating floods. Enormous water masses are threatening their lives, destroying their homes, and are damaging infrastructure and nature in these countries. We, as Europeans, stand by your side. This is a European challenge that we are facing together. European solidarity in moments like this matters even more, because no single member state can tackle this crisis alone. We have to work together. The European Union must and will do everything in its power to help. We must deliver emergency support, and we have to do it fast. We also owe this to the first responders on the ground, who are still risking their own lives in order to help those who are most in need right now. Dear colleagues, this is also yet another wake-up call to ourselves. Climate change affects us all, and it affects us not in some kind of distant future, but it affects us now. Floods and droughts are becoming more and more frequent also in the European Union. Our response must be bold and swift. First of all, our success will depend on how determined we are to combat climate change together in order to reduce emissions. And for that, we all know that we need to stay ambitious when it comes to the Green Deal. We cannot give up halfway. We need to continue the battle to fight against climate change together. Second, we have to invest in nature restoration projects to mitigate the effects of climate change, to ensure that soils can absorb water again, to create floodplains instead of strained rivers, to plant trees, to restore forest. Third, we need an ambitious climate adaptation law with a special focus on the protection of critical water supplies. Fourth, we can further build on the solidarity between member states through better early warning systems and crisis management and the pooling of capacities to support each other. And fifth, last but not least, we need adequate funding for disaster prevention and response. We need to do this, and we need to do this now. This is not about party politics. The necessity can be evidenced by bare figures. Between 1980 and 2022, extreme weather and climate events caused economic losses of assets estimated to 650 billion euros in EU member states. 650 billion euros is a huge economic damage, not to speak of the many human tragedies that are linked to this figure. Let's work together to combat climate change and its devastating effects, colleagues. Because one thing is clear, the fight against climate change will be key for European cohesion, for our shared prosperity and for our common future on this planet. Thank you very much.
Ms. Reintke. Now for the left group, Vice President Marche.